All right. Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome to our bi-monthly Eastside Wrap meeting. This is our meeting where we discuss concerns as related to homelessness in the Eastside neighborhood. And so we have a good number of people joining us today. I wanted to start with an introduction of a new individual on our call. Kylan, would you be willing to introduce yourself and your role with the rescue mission?
Hi, everyone. Sorry, there we go. Hi, everyone. My name is Kylan, and I'm a new case manager here at the Rescue Mission. We're kind of increasing our case management services this coming month. So, yeah, it's basically what I do here, and I'm happy to be here.
That's great. Thank you, Kylan. And just for a point of clarity too, for anybody who's on the call, we have different kinds of work that we do in the community. So there are people who do outreach out in the neighborhood. And then there's also people that are offering the case management on site. So that's Kylan's role at the rescue mission. So I've asked Kylan to join us since imagine some of the individuals and situations we're talking about will be clients or guests that she's worked with. So we have a couple general announcements before we get started. We'll start number one with some slides here. So we have a couple of upcoming dates. I wanted to make sure they're on everyone's calendars. There is a PATH community cleanup next Saturday. Is that correct, Liz?
Yeah, and we're super excited. It's actually a PATH Habitat for Humanity's collaborative community cleanup, and refreshments will be provided by Jersey Mike's. Oh, and it's now, it starts at 10.
All right, I'll correct that. So 10 a.m. And great to hear about the lunch.
Yeah, the 10 to 12 lunch provided by Jersey Mike's.
Great. Our next Eastside Wrap meeting will be on the 25th of this month. And then I wanted to make note, so we have expanded our homelessness collaborative. It was just focused on the city of Santa Barbara, and now it's focused on all of South Santa Barbara County. So we're working now with the city of Goleta, city of Carpinteria, and Montecito area as well. And so as a part of that, we're going to host our first open all-call meeting for the whole community just to talk about what that expanded reach will look like, and also just to talk about the different efforts that are going on in the individual neighborhoods as well. So that will be on Monday, the 11th of September. It will be a hybrid meeting, so you'll have the option to attend in person. I don't have the location squared away yet, but just stay tuned for that. One other thing I forgot to put on here is that the ribbon cutting for Veracruz Village, the new permanent supportive housing that will be opening for very low income individuals, several of whom will be people who are formerly experiencing homelessness. That will be on August 31st, I believe at 10 a.m. So if you are available and in the neighborhood, we'd love for you to come out and celebrate with us as we begin this new project. That'll be over right next to Dune on Coda Street. Just wanted to bring up, because PATH and Liz did a really nice job last time of sharing some of these phone numbers with us, and we're in the process of updating our citywide directory. But there is a PATH outreach hotline that is new, as well as an outreach email address. So this is here on the website. But again, the city also has their general citywide reporting link where you can take photos and share the like GPS pins for any issues that you might see. So we encourage you to check these out. We'll try and post some of these in the chat window after this as well, since it can be hard to copy it down from a slide. Thank you, Joel. He also put the link in the chat window. So I wanted to give a shout out to our all of our outreach providers. We had a very early morning yesterday, and no one was expecting the rain. But we had CityNet, Good Samaritan, and Safe Parking, along with police department, were out specifically doing vehicular outreach. And we're out around the east side at Dwight Murphy, as well as areas along Milpas. And we're out in the rain at 6:30 a.m. And then they went back out again in the evening at 6:30 p.m. With the idea being we're trying to reach out to those people who are harder to catch during the daytime hours because maybe they're at work. So we're hopeful that we'll see more people moving into safe parking lots as a result of some of this outreach, or at least connecting with services. And I'll actually stop there for now. So we've had quite a bit going on this week, I know of. So we'll go straight to our outreach providers for some updates. So why don't we start? Odin, is it all right if we start with you?
Sure thing. Yeah. Fair bit of updates since last we spoke. Last Monday, I dropped off a welcome home kit for one of my clients that I've been working to house since I started last year. So dropped off a welcome home kit. Now I'm currently looking around for furnishings for a family of 4 that we've got inside as well. Since we last spoke, 2 people entered from the east side into shelter. Additionally, we've been continuing Spanish outreach on the waterfront with CityNet, so I really appreciate the collaboration going on there. Just touched base, made some good rapport right there by Stearns Wharf with a few individuals. As y'all have noticed, Cacique Street has been very busy these last few weeks. So following a few successful housing appointments, I did enroll 3 new individuals from Cacique onto my program. So I'll be actively case managing a few of them that ways. Yesterday, I met with Good Samaritan team, the CityNet team to reprioritize the east side priority list. And since it was last prioritized, we have a few updates, some good news as well. 2 of our highest priorities individuals did get moved to shelter, along with 2 others. So that's 4 moves off the priority list. So because of that, 4 new vacant spaces were moved up, and we have 4 individuals moving up to focus our priority on. And all of them are on the east side. All of them definitely need that support, but we're going to be out there every day, hustling our butts as always. So that's what we got for east side updates.
Thank you, Odin. Appreciate hearing about the priority individuals.
Gladly.
Let's go to Anais and Good Samaritan.
Good morning, everyone. This is Anais with the Good Samaritan Shelter. The biggest update that we have this week, excuse me, it's Friday, and is that we were really focusing this week on getting our clients all their documents ready for some of our clients that were pulled for this new Buena Tierra thing that's going on. So that was really our big focus today, this week, trying to find them, making sure we have everything, and continuing to do outreach in our specific territories, really focusing on fulcrum. That's a really big one that we try to do. We're currently fully staffed, which is a really amazing thing right now, which we're trying to make sure that all our areas are covered. I'm in the process of hiring a couple other people to also help just really focus on those areas that we're lacking a little bit.
Thanks, Anais. Let's go to Al and Sari with CityNet.
Hi, good morning. So last week we focused on offering folks shelter. We did outreach at Butterfly Beach. We actually went through the rocks and found a few people. Some said they were just visiting for the day. There was one person who was interested in shelter, so we're kind of working on setting a time up to do an intake for PATH. We also did a lot of outreach in collaboration with Odin at the waterfront. It was Christina, Odin, and I just trying to build rapport with clients, giving out snacks and offering shelter if they're interested. We did a lot of work at PATH, working towards getting our clients' document ready, making sure they're applied to wait lists and just checking in general. And lastly, Landon spoke about it a little bit already, but we did outreach in collaboration with New Beginnings. We went out and gave folks flyers and snacks. We also were able to meet and collaborate with park rangers and PD. So thank you for that. And it was a good opportunity to fulcrum with folks that we don't usually interact with. So they're kind of on our radar now, and we hope to work with them in the future.
Thanks, sorry. Yeah, it was, I will just echo that it was a really, I think, productive experience going out in the early morning. There were 3 different groups, and the one group that I was kind of shadowing talked to 10 vehicles. So I think then going back in the evening again, there were quite a few people that got outreach yesterday that are often not, they're under the radar for the most part. So. And Joelle, can I ask you to share an update? I think you may have had a busy week as well.
Yes, as Odin mentioned earlier, in front of Cacique, we did have a lot of individuals. I was out there with my crew this morning. We moved everyone out of the area. We cleaned up the area with power wash. And next week, we're going to be doing that every day. I did speak to a lot of individuals living out of their vehicle. One will be going into the safe parking on Monday. Besides that, Dwight Murphy has been looking great on the railroad and the creek area. And I think that's all the updates on our end.
There's a question in the chat about Fulcrum. So this is the app that some of our outreach providers are using. I think Good Samaritan in particular.
It's the software application that the county of Santa Barbara utilizes. So anyone who's contracted with the county uses that to input their data in regards to outreach, case management, and services. And then HMIS, which is the Homelessness Management Information System, is what the city also is able to track individuals that we have multiple providers engaging with. Fulcrum is also used to do encampment response and tracking by the county as well.
Thank you. Any other updates from the city? So I think we'll go ahead and open it up for community concerns or questions. Not seeing any at the moment.
Well, if you're looking for input, I always have it. I continue to get my mail at the post office off of Milpas, and the collection of bedding, mattresses, human beings continues to be increasing and continues to be problematic. And moving across the street from path isn't really a great solution. It's the same mess, just different side of the street. Now it's actually on both sides. And so it's an ongoing concern. Congrats on placing people and all of that. And that is still a hot spot. It needs attention, and it needs path to change the way that they're doing some things.
So thank you, Natasha. Yeah, I think we were referencing earlier, this has been a particularly busy week on Cacique Street. And so Joao, this is part of why Joao is going to be out there so much next week and has been out there quite a bit this week as well. And
yes, as of this morning, it looks really good. We moved everyone out of there. We took a lot of trash, a lot of property that was abandoned out there, and it was logged in our container. I'm also working with the Habit and the gas station there in the corner of Cacique and Milpas. We're getting letters of authority, so because we do notice that a lot of people do hang out in those areas as well in the private property. So we are working to move all those people. But as of this morning, Natasha, it looks great. And as of next week, I'm going to be going out there every day, and we're going to continue doing this, cleaning that area.
All right. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. I've got a video from 2 days ago, so it looked a little appalling. I'm happy to share it with anyone who would like to see it.
Well, and definitely I would suggest Natasha go take a walk by today, take another video, see if the cleanup is happening. Because it's always good to see, you know, both sides of the stories. The other thing about it too, with those people, we have been following up multiple times this week with our team. Actually, we have multiple clients here that we're collaborating with Path. And the one thing I have to say, you know, because we work so well and closely with Path, with clients, some of these individuals, their behaviors were definitely not acceptable enough to be, you know, continuing their stay at Path. Luckily, because we collaborate together, we're able to continue those case management. One in particular that was staying across the street, that it sounds like Joao and then went and cleaned up. We're actually in the process, you know, in the final steps of getting them into Veracruz, into housing. So that's an amazing win. But the same individual, like I said, continued having behavioral issues where we've had case management meetings with Path. We've engaged with them. We gave them the standard that's expected. We've worked with their case management plan, updated them on everything that's needed. And, you know, there was just continued concerns, you know, and when that stuff happens, I have to say it's very difficult to accept, but they're not able to stay. And so they, you know, they end up back on the street, which is what we don't want. But the beautiful thing, even through all that, when it doesn't seem like it's working out and it does become a community concern out there, we are still working with these individuals. We are still working towards their housing, getting them document ready. And I can't thank the city of Santa Barbara enough with what they're doing, you know, with these situations. I'll just tell you a quick story what I did when I was working at Path. Literally, I would go every morning and sweep in front of the gas station. I got to go stop by last week and see them at the gas station. I literally just to go in the morning, go sweep. And literally all it did was make them either uncomfortable and they would get up. But then they started, you know, respecting me because they were like, Al, you're just coming up and cleaning up after us. So they started regulating themselves because they were like, Al's not our maid. Like, Al's not here to come sweep up and clean up after us every single morning. Like, you guys need to start picking up after yourself, you know? And it was just that presence that started happening. So the thing that Joel's talking about and what the city's doing and what we're doing all together to kind of cleaning up these and let them know it's not acceptable, you know, I believe we'll definitely start making a change. When those things do happen, I just want to let you know that it does make it difficult sometimes on the outreach staff because, you know, the people start moving around. We have to find them when we have housing appointment meetings, like we've had multiple this past couple of weeks with Veracruz opening, with Buena Tierra opening. It sometimes is difficult. I literally have one that the housing authority has to put a hold on their voucher, you know, and they might end up losing it because we can't get a hold of this person, you know. So these are the situations that definitely happen. You know, and, you know, I would love for you, you know, I'm going to even try to make it out there just to see how it looks because I want to see the difference because there are going to be days where it just looks tremendously bad, you know, and that happens. But my biggest thing, we are looking and moving forward with, you know, as many solutions as possible, which definitely take time. But I can sound like I used to do it right there just by sweeping, and it definitely made a difference. And just by what the city and Joao and we're all doing together, by doing these cleanups and letting these people know it's not all right, I think will make a difference. And I think you'll see that. But as always, you know, I appreciate you, Natasha, and, you know, bringing it to our attention. And when you call me, I know I try to get myself or my team out there because we do want you at the very least to know that we are going after the concerns and trying to make the community of the Eastside as beautiful as possible and respectful.
Well, I super appreciate that. And I know it's a very hard and impractical situation. And 60 days of mess and, you know, 3 days of clean, while a step doesn't answer the underlying problem. And one other piece, now that you mentioned Veracruz, I have a friend who is sheltered, who's been discouraged to apply at Veracruz, and some of you may know who I'm talking about. And he's over at the Victoria Hotel, which is supposed to be transitional housing. And his caseworker and everybody kept telling him, no, this is for people who are, homeless, and you have shelter. And there's an interesting thing, and I don't expect a whole explanation or answer right now, about people who need to get used to being sheltered, that it's a transition for them, that it's not an easy one for them. And here we have someone who's been put in transitional housing, has been there for over 7 years, and can't get into permanent housing, can't cook, can't make coffee, can't do the basic things, and just got stuck in this transition. And his, people around him are saying, no, this is not for you. So I don't know what your numbers are. And I mean, not you, but what the numbers are that are rewarding one group or category over another, that I tried really hard to get him to apply. And then the application process was next to impossible because the system was messed up between city and county. And so I know I threw just like a bunch of issues at you. So I'll leave it there.
Yeah, Natasha, have him give him my number, or you guys can call me together and let me see what I can help out with that. But from my understanding, Victoria, you're talking about the Victoria House on Victoria Street?
Yeah, I'm talking about the Victoria Hotel, exactly.
Yeah, the Victoria Hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, my understanding of all I know is it's been permanent housing. And I think what you're talking about with some of these properties, which I'm going to help, once you guys call me, I'll help you out with the couple other properties that are not kind of like the one that I manage and live at, where everyone that moves here has to directly come from unhoused. They have to be directly from the street in order to live at this property. So that's probably why you're running into a couple of those. But I want to make sure I help this individual you're talking about apply and get into some properties that are available for the situation that this individual is in. Because I have clients here, tenants here that have lived here for 10, 15 years. And I've recently had 2 of them be able to move out, because if you've ever come to El Carrillo, it's just little studios with little kitchenettes where they have to have their own little hot plate to cook and stuff like that. So it's very similar, but being able to transition after many years of getting in there. But it is very, very difficult, and it takes time to transition, whether you're going from the street into shelter into housing. And as that process goes, that is very true. But please give them my number and reach out, and then I can see what I can do to help with that.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, you have it and successfully been paying bills and being stable and rewarded with a permanent housing situation, and having to put up with unstable individuals cycling through the Victoria Hotel. So so Al, can you just PM me your phone number so I can get him connected with you, please? And thank you.
I'll put it in the chat right now.
I want to appreciate too, Natasha, you being an advocate for the individual. I think a lot of the common lay person doesn't have an appreciation for how much work it really is to advocate for someone to get into housing. And so I just appreciate that. And I hope it's something that all of us can have the experience to do at some point.
Yeah, look, at and a lot of resources are going to it. And
sorry, Natasha, you're breaking up a bit. Sorry, Natasha, you're breaking up a bit. No, that's okay.
Linda, I just want to clarify two things, and some of it is everyone has their different perceptions, and obviously Natasha walks the neighborhood regularly. No area in the city, I can firmly say, when we are prioritizing the region across departments, has been neglected for 60 days. So we do have people that frequent the area. We do have people who are experiencing homelessness. it's not illegal, right, to experience homelessness. We have PD regularly in the area. We have the sustainability and resilience team regularly in the area. We are responding. So the fact that folks remain is visible, but please know that it hasn't been neglected for 60 days. We are continuing to put focus attention on all of these priority areas, and we're well aware of the uptick around the post office, and that we are, again, the team is out there every single day to try to manage that and responding today. A lot of that was noticed. 72 hours notice is required, and Joao's team's there 3 days later to make it happen, and we're all coordinating across agencies to make sure, again, the visibility is improved. And then the second thing is, a lot of this is federal and state law. So Housing First is a federal mandate. And so a lot of the housing opportunities have to follow that pathway. So I agree with Natasha's experience that, the folks that would be the most stable in housing and require less supports than others are not the ones who are prioritized most of the time. It is the most vulnerable, and it is those who've been living on the street experiencing chronic homelessness as well as other disorders. So, again, we're all trying to manage through some of the guidelines and restrictions. And I believe this individual reached out to me yesterday. So Al, I will connect and we can help him navigate through. We all know him really well. He used to be part of the Lived Experience Working Group with SB Act. And we can see what we can do and prioritize to help him along his path. So thank you for bringing that issue up, because I think a lot of us confront that and it can be really frustrating.
Thank you all. Any other questions or comments? We're nearing the ending point. Okay. So we'll go ahead and wrap the meeting up for our community members. We do really appreciate the conversation today. Once again, we'll post that link in the chat for reporting, and then the path phone number as well. Liz, if you're able to post that, that would be great. And with that, I'll wish everyone a happy Friday.